Hello everybody and welcome back to the Speakeasy.
I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
We are the Dirt Road Men.
That's some clanky on now.
Yeah. We're finally back doing podcasts from the Rona. We actually shot plenty of them during the Rona. But we just had a bitch of a time getting them uploaded. So the main one I uploaded was how the Rona has lied to you. Turns out even my numbers in that were too generous. And that's according to the CDC.
Apparently it's on the rise again though.
No. Cases are on the rise. Deaths are down. Here's the thing. Let me lay some stuff down for you here. Cases are on the rise. We're also testing more widely than ever. You can pull up to most Walmarts and get tested.
Really?
Yep.
Like a big long stick they shove up your nose.
I don't know. I know the Egyptians did that shit, but you know.
You leave my brain alone. It's fine.
I think that's the first time I've heard you imply that. Anyway.
Leave it alone.
Let's not mess it up any more than it is.
I'll tell you anything as long as you're not screwing around in there.
I wasn't calling you stupid, I was calling you fucked up.
I think I'd rather the stupid.
That's kind of the joke.
Everybody out there knows what I am. So, we're not fooling nobody.
Yeah, in fact, we just got a post removed for community guidelines violation from like October 2019. Like, I remember what the hell I said that day.
They used to show you a picture of what, like, they used to show you the post that got removed and be like, hey, this is wrong. And you look at it and go, no, it ain't, or, oh, okay, that's kind of iffy. I'll give you that
They've had some that they've removed that I've been like, yeah, okay, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I knew when I posted it, this was probably going to piss people off.
There was one, it was, when you decide to bake something, and it's like a picture of cookies, and that's the first thing, and then they're underneath it, it's Hitler doing this.
Oh no! Okay, so...
That one was bad.
Let me get back to my little analogy here.
Yeah.
The tests are really widely applied right now.
Yeah.
If we were to start IQ testing everyone in America, the news would probably be like, there's a lot of fucking retards running around this bitch.
Yeah?
A lot of really stupid people. We have a pandemic of idiots. It's like, yeah, we already knew that. You just now have the data. So, that's where I'm at with it, because the deaths are steadily declining, which would imply the infection rate's declining, and we already said in the other video that the infection rate was actually much, much, much higher than what our numbers showed. Like, by at least a factor of 9. We should do what China did and just stop testing people and declare the virus beaten.
We won! Didn't Bush do that in the Middle East?
Basically.
Only he didn't stop testing them.
Another thing we get to talk about. I saw a picture the other day of that day that it was on my birthday a few years back. In fact, Saddam Hussein accidentally got his head caught in a door pull rope. So. That joke's got layers.
He was working on his car. He should have been in NASCAR.
For the people just catching on, some dude tried to pretend there was a noose in his garage. Conveniently, his door pull rope had been cut off. So, it was his door pull rope.
Indeed.
Bubba Smollett. If you're gay, I found you a boyfriend. His name's Juicy.
Juicy Smouye.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave Chappelle.
He made childhood fun.
Yes. His Grand Theft Auto skit always comes to mind when I think of him. He did a Grand Theft Auto skit where he went to steal a car and the guy stepped out and shot him like 6 times in the chest and his life bar just slowly went down and then he just got the car and drove away.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a current event. And Texas actually just closed down all its bars again. Texas.
I saw that.
We're disappointed in you, Texas.
For every bar that closes down, every citizen of Texas should be issued a 1911.
I'm down.
Let's go to Texas. I don't
See,
drink
the
at the
problem is
bar
all the
anymore.
Californians keep moving to Texas, and that's how you get this situation like they're in today. So,
But when everybody has multiple 1911s.
funny how, first-time gun buyers are, like, through the roof right now.
It's almost like people are scared.
Yeah. I've heard of a possible incoming protest on behalf of the police.
Oh.
They're talking about taking the 4th of July to really give us that freedom. And all the scariness that comes with it. And I invite everybody, if it happens, to take a real look at what that means and see if you really want it. Because honestly, I'll be alright. But y'all won't be. You guys got all upset that we didn't lock stuff down enough. Not the people watching this video, probably, but, whatever.
I bet there's one of them. You know who you are.
You think Jess ever watches our videos?
Maybe.
Let's fuck that up right now. So.
I'm not going to do that. Not what I was going
Brown
to say.
forfeited his right to live.
Yes, he did.
I'm going to lead with that. He attacked the officer, the Atlanta guy, forfeited his right to live.
Yeah,
and
what was
the
his
cops
name?
are totally justified in protesting the idea of being prosecuted for doing their job.
When a week before, they were told they could no longer use tasers against protesters because tasers were deadly weapons.
Have you seen the video? There's actually video you can watch of the same prosecutor saying that.
Yes. Yes, I have.
So a taser is a deadly weapon when in the hand of a police officer, but not when in the hand of a civilian.
Makes no goddamn sense.
Also, I was watching the Drinking Bros podcast, and they said that, how we talked about this on our own personal time about the guy got shot in the back, and everybody's all pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Not only had he only exposed his back to the one guy that shot him, he was actually attempting to fire the taser over his shoulder at that guy at one point.
He was like this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he fired.
Yeah.
In the video, I think it's the cop who shot him, dropped his own taser when he did that. Like, I think he had already deployed his and was trying to shock him, but it wasn't working.
Yeah. So I'm just going to shortchange this and say that was a totally justified shooting. And if you don't think so, you should genuinely watch the video. There's like 45 minutes of video. I've seen about 8 minutes, and it's more than enough for me to go, yeah, that guy, maybe he didn't deserve to die, but he forfeited his right to live, and they had to defend themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think he forfeited his right to live when he basically forfeited anybody who could have come in contact with him's right to live, because he drove like 10 minutes, severely intoxicated, to a Wendy's and then passed out in the drive-thru.
yeah. Don't drive tired, let alone drunk. Especially if you're on cliffs. Some of us learn lessons harder than others.
Give me flashbacks, man.
Yeah, that was nuts. And it's just frustrating because for a moment there, for just a moment, everybody was on the same page with the George Floyd thing. And then that got politicized, and that got kind of frustrating. And then the Atlanta thing happened, and everything went sideways. All the way sideways, because there were already rioting things going on. And that was kind of sideways, but not near as sideways as shit went once Atlanta hit. And then we got Raz running Chaz.
Raz. Is that the fellow's name?
The SoundCloud rapper that's the de facto leader, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Fun fact, Steven Crowder broadcasted live from there last night, except he didn't actually go because he heard it got shut down and he was going to fly out there, but some of his crew had drove out there.
Oh.
So when he heard it got shut down, he didn't fly out there, but some of his crew had already drove cross country, and then when they found out that it wasn't totally shut down, his crew went in anyway. Oh. And then they got outed in the middle of the field of big angry lesbians. And they had to leave. They were chased out. And then it also turned out they found out that Raz had an Airbnb. And so they rented the Airbnb to have a party, and they set up little new Chaz or something like that in his apartment. They spray painted stuff on the walls and put boxes and stuff up in there.
Crowder's guys did?
Yes.
That is amazing.
They have pictures where they spray painted like that little equality fist that people have been using as their profile pictures on the wall. And there were signs everywhere. They only got two or three people to show up to the apartment.
That's all you need.
Do the party. But,
I mean, you can party.
well, they were trying to have a party.
Like a big party?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were trying to have a house party in Chaz's Airbnb. Or Raz's Airbnb. No, I'm sorry. I don't care. Anyway, but once they got made in the actual Chop location, I'm going to call it Chop so I stop confusing it with Raz.
Okay.
They also, the other people started looking into what Crowder was up to since his guys were there. And then they found out those guys were at Raz's house. And then the guys in Raz's house, when Crowder went to go talk to them, the dude was like running down the hallway. And he's like, yeah, we're getting out of here, man. And then he gets in the car and Crowder finally gets him to talk. And he's like, so what happened? Why'd you guys run out of there? Did you show up or something? And he's like, no, we got some notification that Raz and some other armed Antifa members were on their way. And we decided we were leaving.
Do you know why? Because they were armed.
Yeah. Even though legally they had every right to be there. Which Crowder's lawyer bothered to mention, too. He's like, you can legally be there. You can stay. And Crowder made some kind of joke like, yeah, we can sue him when he kills you.
There was a fella in the Chop. The Chaz. Whatever. He got shot. Police.
One of quite a few shootings. And those are the only crimes we know about, because those are the ones that have to get reported.
He didn't get help. Excuse me. From the police.
From the police?
From the police or anybody. He lived. He's in a hospital. Now he's going to sue the city of Seattle.
They shouldn't let him. If he was in Chop. It's on them. Also, they followed protocol. The ambulance had to wait for a police escort because it was a shooting and they had to clear it. Going back to Atlanta, there was word that the guy had supposedly kicked Rayshard Brooks while he was on the ground because it took them... Everybody's freaking out because it took them 2 minutes to start giving him medical attention, as though shooting a man doesn't leave you in a little bit of shock.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes, honestly, you got yourself together and started giving aid to the guy you just had to shoot in under 2 minutes? I'm kind of impressed. That said, yeah, he didn't kick him. He kicked the taser away, it looked like, and then stepped over him. But the 2 minutes, I watched an interview with Mike the cop who turned in his badge.
Which was interesting.
He just said that, he was willing to risk himself. He was not willing to risk his family's future for doing his job right.
So, I mean, that's admirable.
He's still doing work with humanizing the badge. He's even keeping the name. He's just doing it from the other side of things now. Which is what Donut's been doing for a year or two now.
He quit just continue on with YouTube, didn't he?
Yeah, he quit to do YouTube full time and then opened a skate shop. Fine with me. I totally respect the hustle. And honestly, it's probably a lot safer for your health.
Yeah. I'd take a broken arm from failing to grind a rail over a bullet from failing to arrest a suspect.
Yeah. So what do you think of this whole defund the police movement?
It's comical. I think it's comical. Not in like a ha-ha funny, but if that's what happens, if they do defund every police precinct, every police station, sheriff station, whatever, across the nation, I think you're gonna see a quick spike in crime, and then you're gonna see a bottoming out.
Why do you think that is?
Because everybody is gonna say, "Hey, my neighbor just got their door kicked in last night, and everybody got shot. I'm buying an M240. The biggest gun I can.
Yeah, I understand.
Several of them, and I am mounting them wherever I can, however I can, and
Mounting a cannon at the front door, just like the founding fathers intended.
yes, pack that thing full of nails and great grandma's ashes and
whoa. Some guy starts trying to kick in your door, and you're just sitting there on the other side with a torch, and he opens it, and you're just like, tally ho, lads. All of a sudden, he's in your neighbor's house, and that guy's neighbor's house, and the next house.
and your lawn. That's alright, it's fertilizer. It's almost the 4th of July, we'll get some of that red in there for the red, white, and blue. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You kick in somebody's door, if you kick in my door, you're telling me that my possessions are worth more than your life, and I'm going to fight you for my very valuable possessions.
Apparently very valuable possessions. That is one of my favorite arguments. This guy that I work with is like, man, if they're breaking in to steal my TV, I'll just let them take my TV. I'm not going to kill them over it. And I'm like, it's not the TV, that's why I'm shooting at them. I'm not going to stop and ask what they're here for.
Yeah.
They're not going to kick open my door and be greeted with a, "Hi, may I help you?" This isn't Gates.
Like what happened with Miss Breonna Taylor.
Yes. See, there's another example of actual police brutality.
Yeah.
Totally understandable why people would be pissed about that.
Yes.
Here's the thing on the defund the police thing, though. If you defund the police, where do you think they're going to cut first? Do you really think it's going to be salaries, or is it going to be training and equipment?
Probably training and equipment.
And if you train the cops less, do you think they're going to go to their guns more or less?
Probably more. What was that thing that's a surefire way to talk this guy from shooting me? Smith & Wesson!
Yeah. It's not real complex.
Glock at
If you want to solve this problem, what you really need is more training, which is going to be more money, and you need more body cams, which not every department can afford, which means more funding. So if you want the problem to go away, either you need way fewer laws.
Yes.
I like that option better, because then fewer laws means you need fewer cops, and there you go. You can defund the police real easy that way.
What happened when, you know, 1 cop per every 1,000 people, or 2 cops per every 1,000 people?
Yep.
You know, Andy Griffith and his little doofy sidekick controlled all of Mayberry. I don't know how many people were in Mayberry, but probably around 1,000, 1,500.
Yep.
Small town.
Yeah, I think it's a really bad way of attempting to accomplish what they want, to do the defunding, because they're not going to advocate for fewer laws. We know they're not going to advocate for fewer laws. They're going to advocate for more laws, because that's their solution to everything. What's their solution every time there's a shooting? It's not fewer gun restrictions and making sure that everyone in the room is carrying. It's more gun restrictions that the criminal's apparently going to listen to.
When was the last time you used geometry?
I can't think of a time. I'm
Yeah.
sure I have at some point.
Since high school?
Yeah.
Probably not like in depth though, like basic maths.
Like maybe finding the volume of a cylinder to figure out how much is in a thing.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, that is the last time I used it. I was trying to guess how many jelly beans were in a jar of beans.
When was the last
So
time
I counted how many beans were on one side, and then I counted how many beans were across the diameter, and then I tried to do the math that way.
when was the last time you fired a firearm?
Within the last month.
Yeah, maybe instead of teaching children geometry, teach them firearm safety, how to approach a firearm if they find one laying in the woods. Not to point it at your little brother and shoot him.
Or big brother.
Or big brother. Yeah. That happened a few months ago. In Lawrence.
Also, don't stab the neighbor kid. 2 adult men might bury you. But anyway.
Oh. But yeah, instead of teaching just the arbitrary random bullshit they teach you in just general public education, when something that's gonna be way more useful through every aspect of life, like knowing how to handle a firearm, knowing how to accurately shoot it, how to reload it, how to tear it down and clean it, even just a .22 cricket. That's
what my boy's learning on now. It's what my daughter's going to learn on eventually. Why? Because I have firearms. They should probably know what to do with them. And more importantly, what not to do with them. So, we've been through Chaz Chop, we've been through Raz, we've been through Defund the Police. We haven't really touched on the statues and the riots a whole lot.
Statues are bullshit.
What do you mean?
You're tearing down pieces of history.
Yes.
If you don't know history, if you can't look at the statue and be like, read who that is and why they're there and understand, oh, okay, they're very important, like Thomas Jefferson or George Washington or Stonewall Jackson or any of, even though Jackson was a Confederate general, he was still a prominent figure in history. You should know why somebody would want to make a monument of him.
Yeah.
Or if you don't understand history or why these things are there, you're just doomed to repeat it.
Yeah. There are some statues that I'm not super upset about. There are others that I'm very upset about. But that's a personal preference, and I like to function on general principle rather than personal preference.
I think it was in Ohio. It might have been in D.C. That general area. Like a history teacher, I helped tear down. He might not have acted alone.
Probably not.
Statue of Christopher Columbus and threw it in the lake.
I'm not super upset about that one.
No, Columbus was a piece of shit.
He did kind of create the movement to come to America, though. He wasn't the first one to find it, but he was the guy to... he was the Steve Jobs, if you will, of that whole thing. That said, he did a lot of horrible shit. Here's another example of someone that you can say did both great and notable things and horrible things. And this is a principle I try to teach my kids a lot. If someone tells you that somebody is all good or all bad, they are probably deluded or lying to you. You can watch photos or videos of Hitler in his everyday life with his wife, and he seems like a decent dude who's having fun with his wife. Turns out he's like one of the most evil people to have ever lived, but you cannot say he was wholly and completely evil just because he wasn't constantly that two-dimensional character. And you have to acknowledge that because it's reality. Now, let's talk about Andrew fucking Jackson.
Yes.
One of the coolest success stories I've ever heard. He was also one of our presidents. I definitely am against tearing down any statues of any presidents, even the ones I don't like, even Taft. Besides, you never know when you'll need a rock that big around.
I was going to say, do we have enough equipment in the U.S. to tear down a life-size statue of Taft?
He's a big boy.
The Mount Rushmore is on his left handle.
There are people saying they want to blow up Mount Rushmore. South Dakota governor who refused to lock down her state. Her state. Listen up, dudes. You fucking pansies. She didn't lock down her state, you pussies. Anyway.
Looking at you, Texas.
She was like, I want to let you know that in no uncertain terms, if someone comes after Mount Rushmore, we will protect Mount Rushmore with whatever force we need to.
I just pictured the barrel of a tank popping out of Washington's nose.
Oh, that's funny. That's a little funnier than what I was thinking. I was picturing like a mob slowly approaching Mount Rushmore with like dynamite and stuff, and then an Apache helicopter coming up over the back. Just like a little straight out into the air to give them their nice warning shot of get the fuck back. And then if they don't, an Apache helicopter has machine guns and missiles. So.
It's not going to take too many of those to scare off a bunch of internet trolls from their mom's basement.
Yeah.
Although, one thing you can say about the whole chop, jazz, Antifa bullshit is they did do something.
They did.
You gotta hand them that.
John Doyle's actually been talking a lot about this lately, and what he said is, if you haven't noticed, you're in the middle of the Civil War. It is not a full-out Civil War like the last one, but make no mistake, you are in a cultural battle, and one side is already using violence to get its way. And you need to acknowledge that and be ready to do the same if you cannot get yours. And I am not sure how behind that message I am, but he is not wrong about the actions.
It definitely seems like he's not incorrect.
I know. Now, his current prescription is not pick up your guns and go deal with them. His current prescription is you are dangerously near the point where you're going to need to do that. So if you're going to stand up and say anything before that moment, then the moment to do that is now.
I was in a restaurant yesterday, just in there getting a drink, and I was getting a lot of dirty looks because I was dressed about like I normally dress, white sleeveless T-shirt, a new hat. A lot of dirty looks, or like weird, not necessarily dirty looks, but just like.
What do you suppose that might be?
Probably because I was white and wearing this hat. There were 2 other white people in the restaurant. Only one of them was behind the counter and the other one was my wife.
Oh. It's like that day when we accidentally thought we could just follow State Avenue into Missouri.
By the way, if anybody thinks you can do that, you cannot. There's a river there.
And I definitely do not recommend trying.
And do not turn left. You're going to go down a big hill. Those are the bottoms.
Tumbleweave is a thing. At least it is in St. Louis.
Oh, here's an exit for Delmore. Why don't we get off here now? Okay,
No, they told us to get back on the highway to get to the Delmar Loop, and as we're driving towards the highway, I'm like, that's Delmar Road! Why don't we just go down Delmar Road? Don't do it! If you're at City Museum and you want to get to the Delmar Loop, you do not turn on Delmar Road. You take the fucking highway, bruh.
and never mind. No, you know what? Unless you got like fucking 20 foes on your car and you got tinted windows. That way they can't tell you're white.
See, I was like, you left the race out, but you managed to nail the culture. Nice job. And then you fucked it up. All right.
I ain't scared. It sometimes it does feel scary being
no.
a white fella.
We had this discussion with John.
Yeah, we did.
The same way we felt when we went down to state and did that is the same way his buddies from KC felt when they'd come to the trailer park in little old Eudora to see his ass.
He also told us not to go down there after 4:30 in the afternoon because it gets dark quick. And that's where he grew up. So
yeah,
he told his buddies, "You're fine."
Yeah. So there's that. It's an interesting set of circumstances, all that. But I can't remember how we got onto the Del Mar Loop thing. Oh. I remember what I was going to say. So my grandmother actually just yesterday called me because she was freaking out. She went to go into a store.
Uh-huh.
And she lives in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Black dude standing outside. She noticed him kind of staring at her or something. She didn't think too much of it.
Uh-huh.
Mind you, my grandmother's not the most politically correct individual. But she wasn't impolite to him. She didn't think. She just walked into the store, and then she noticed he followed her, and then he started screaming at her. Apparently, he had tried to hold the door for her, and she didn't realize it, and didn't go through the door he was trying to hold. Completely did not realize what the hell he was talking about until he started screaming at her.
Oh.
And then she was scared as hell, because he was following her around like, "You got a problem with black folks?" I can understand, being my 80-year-old grandmother, being a little concerned in that scenario.
Yeah.
And that honestly isn't even related to race. If a white dude had followed her around like, "You got a problem, bitch?" I would feel the same way. But
yeah.
Adam Calhoun made a really good point in a recent video. He said, we need to take a dude that looks like your stereotypical gangbanger and lives in the projects. We need to pull him out, and then we need to take some hickabilly trailer park motherfucker and pull him out and set those two people down, and those two people need to sit down and have an open dialogue that the whole fucking country needs to pay attention to. He's like, I've been in both places, and I'm telling you, those two people have a lot more in common than they have different.
Yeah.
And Adam Calhoun has gone into some rough parts of Chicago to shoot real videos talking to people in those neighborhoods about that kind of shit. And if you've ever seen Adam Calhoun, he's a hillbilly looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about the best way to describe him. He looks very Irish.
Mm-hmm. Big long red beard, often in overalls. Has like a country rap thing going on, lots of tattoos. To be fair, some of his country rap songs are actually not that bad, which is saying something coming from a guy that just despises rap music, and especially country rap.
Yeah, I don't despise rap music in general. Well, in general, yes. There are a few artists.
There are rap rock merriments that are okay, and there are some rap artists that I'm okay with. Most of them are old rap artists.
I really like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, wow. Okay. I used to listen to a shitload of Eminem when I was a kid, so.
One white guy.
One white guy, and he's the best. What's that tell you? Fuck with me, son. Let's talk about Woman of the Year in, 2016, shall we? Really piss some people off.
It took me a second to realize who the Woman of the Year in 2016 was.
Spoiler alert, it was a dude.
It's fine. That's because she's a dude.
Now, just in case Jess did watch our videos, I'm sure she's done now. I knew that this was going to be our topics of the day, and I could immediately think of several people off the top of my head that we know that we would consider friends that would probably be pissed to watch this video. So,
fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been watching all their social media shit for weeks. I don't take it out on them because I understand that most of them feel like they're trying to do good. And most of the people, in fact, none of them that I know were the rioters and the looters causing the actual problems. They were people trying to go for real change. They are just, in my opinion, misguided. And I really wish more of our country could get on that page so we could avoid the thing that I just mentioned earlier.
I don't remember who it was or what the subject was even about, but there was a person on my social media, I think it was Facebook. They're having severe issues dealing with some kind of trauma, like emotional trauma.
Uh-huh.
somebody told them to, pray, go to God. And they're like, I don't believe in God. And this other person was like, well, that's respectable, whatever, higher power. I don't believe in higher power at all.
Okay.
Maybe you should try meditation. Left it at that, and I'm like,
that's how that should go. That's exactly how that should go.
You see that, like, never. Like, almost never.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes! Whoever you are, keep doing whatever you're doing.
I saw another disagreement go a similar way. Recently, a guy posted something, and then another person went in and just came at them hard. And he responded, and he's like, look, man, I didn't attack nobody. This is what I said. This is what you're saying I said. They're not the same thing. It's like, I know you. I think you're a good dude. I don't know why you're coming at me like this. We know each other. The guy was like, you know what? I think I was a little too quick to anger on this. I think you're right. I'm sorry. I think your opinion is dead wrong, but I think I responded poorly. It's like, holy shit.
People are actually adulting on the internet?
Right? Don't get me wrong. Some days I log on to Facebook and I just have a wild hair up my ass and I start fucking with people hardcore.
There's a difference between fucking with people and just being like a child about every little thing.
I mean, I've also not fucking with people making an actual statement made a lot of people really, really mad. I remember losing like 30, 40 friends in a day. Facebook friends. Only really caused a problem with one person in my real life. 2 people. Because I made a statement, and really the statement was a question, but I knew that if I made it as a statement, it would provoke a lot more conversation. So I was intentional with how I worded it. But I basically said that if if you believe that something is a life, then it is a life, regardless of how it came to be.
Yeah.
We don't get to nix homeless people because their lives are shitty. At least, I'm not for that.
I've met some really, really cool homeless people.
So,
I mean,
here's the part that's going to piss everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into the whole let's make exceptions for rape argument on abortion. Either you're for abortion or you're against abortion past a certain week. If you think it's a life past week 12, except for rape, I think you are being intellectually dishonest. That was the point I was trying to make, but I said it as something to the effect of child born out of rape is still a child. And you saying, nah, it's okay if they abort the kid if it was a child of rape, is really you just saying it's cool that they kill my grandkid to keep my kid happy. And that's how I worded that, and I knew full fucking well that was going to elicit a very negative reaction.
But if you want to break it down to what it actually is, and that's what it actually is. If you
that was the point I was making. I just did it in an inflammatory way to elicit a response.
You tell the fucking truth.
Yeah. The truth isn't always pretty. Freedom, not always pretty. Often not pretty, in fact.
Usually bloody.
To some degree, yeah. Wild West, anybody?
Let's do it.
Lower violent crime rate than the 80s, by the way.
I believe it. I mean, Wyatt Earp could stand in Wichita and shoot you in fucking California. A 200-mile long barrel.
Yeah. Like the movie Wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shot at the moon.
I don't know. I know that's not a cohesive conversation, but I think we've weighed in on like almost all the major current issues that are a topic of conversation.
Taxation is theft.
Yes. Also, there are some people that I've seen on social media locally asking if we will be able to do fireworks given the lockdowns. Now, what I hope they were asking is, will there be fireworks shows?
Yeah. I had the strongest urge to shoot the fucking camera.
Yes! It's just like, did you really just ask if we're going to be free to celebrate Freedom Day? I don't think you remember what that means.
If the Queen does not get riled up because we're making too much of a ruckus. We're doing it wrong.
Yes. But yeah. There you go. I think that covers pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
Plus, we're about done with these cigars, so we got to wrap up that video.
Yeah, we do.
All right. So there's our podcast for the week. Till we see you again, I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
We are the Dirt Road Men. Hey everybody, if you like this video, hit a like or dislike, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you really like what we're doing, check us out over on Facebook where we post every day.